being assaulted, the Lord spoke it to me again. As I'm saying, because I'm calling in my head, I'm calling on Jesus in my head because I'm being choked, like to the point I'm literally feeling my life leave my body. Mm-hmm. So I got to call on Jesus because this is what I know to do. Like I just know He will never leave me nor forsake me. Mm-hmm. Even in my mess, my wrongness, me being a filthy rag, dead wrong, because I've never been that person either to act like, with the Lord know my heart, I'm not that person. Mm-hmm. I've always been very honest. Mm-hmm. I'm a mess.
Okay.
This is where I'm at, Lord, but I still love you and I need you. Mm-hmm. But anyway, in that moment, He said it to me again, and I said, Lord, just get me out of this. One more time, I promise. And He did. Mm-hmm. And it was a blessing because I don't feel like I should have been here. And it was so painful to go through that, to have somebody just force themselves on you. Mm-hmm. And you fighting, you pulling. It's nothing you could do to get this individual off of you.
Right.
To the point, the more you fight, the more aggressive they become. Mm-hmm. To where if you don't stop, you're going to be dead. Mm-hmm. So I began to disassociate. I literally let my mind leave my body so that I could endure it. Mm-hmm. So that I could live.
So you can live through it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Period. And that's what we don't sometimes understand when we pray and ask God to help us. Because remember, I said in that moment, I prayed. Mm-hmm. He don't tell us how He gonna answer the prayer or none of it.
Correct.
We just got to be willing to keep fighting, believing and trusting that He's going to do it. Because what if I just would have started sulking? Like, well, He told me, and then just didn't even try to escape. Mm-hmm. But I said no in my mind. No, I trust God.
Yeah.
And He got me through it. And so from there I knew, no, I gotta help. It's time for me to stop, get right, do what the Lord wants me to do, because I done did it for everybody else.
Okay.
I've lived for everybody else. I've tried it my way, and none of that is working.
I want to stop you for 1 second. Today, and this is to one of your points. This morning, I was reading a devotion, and in the devotion, and even before that, I made a post this morning on Facebook pretty much saying that I may not always be able to live up to somebody else's belief about who I should be, but I've always known whose I was.
Exactly.
Right? Then my devotion this morning reminded me, in what to your point, we may not always look at ourselves as being perfect or right or enough or whatever, but in God's sight, we are already fixed.
Amen.
Right? We're already perfect in His sight. Right? Because, like you said, He created us.
That's
right? So then get to service this morning, and that's the exact same thing that he said. The pastor. We may not always look at ourselves as being enough. We don't have enough. We're not doing enough. We can't talk right. You know what I'm saying? Our behavior's not right. We may be out of the will of God, but God. Right?
Yes, but that's one of my favorite statements.
But God.
B, capital B-U-T, capital
God.
G-O-D.
So, now walk us through this, because I'm a big on mindset, because when that tragedy, I don't know if you call it tragedy, but when that happened to you.
It was definitely a tragedy. It's very traumatic, too.
Correct. I've been there, I understand.
I still deal with today.
And So how do you get from there to here? Because there has to be a journey. You know what I'm saying? Because there has to be
a journey, and it has to be first and foremost, there has to be a desire and a willingness.
Okay.
From the individual. And so I've always wanted it, but the process is not easy. That's what people don't understand. The anointing, the oil, this costs.
You better say it.
It costs a whole lot. Like a whole lot. So sometimes we be saying we want stuff from God or we want to move in the way He wants us to move, but we don't want to go through the pain. We don't want to go through the purging.
Purging. We talked about that last week. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because the purging, here is the part that we really, really struggle with. The pressing. The pressing is the really painful part, because the pressing requires you to look at you. And many of us struggle with looking at ourselves.
Yeah.
We want to look at all the external factors, and I'm not saying that the external factors don't matter. That's
Correct.
not what I'm saying. But we want to hone in on it and make it about that or them or the situation, and no. Because at the end of the day, it's still going to come back to you. And it took me a long, very long time to get to this space.
Yeah.
A very long time. But it took this tragedy, actually. This tragedy, what the devil thought.
Gonna kill you.
Woo, baby. You did me a favor. Thank you. Because you helped me to see me.
Yeah.
You helped me to look at me. And not only did you help me to look at me, you helped me to understand me.
Okay.
And it was the desire. It was me saying, I want out of this mess. I don't want to live in this no more. I don't want to do it for nobody no more.
So, but when you say look at you, because somebody may not understand that, right?
Okay.
So, and to get yourself out of your own mess, right?
Right.
Is going to require you to question, first of all, why are you in this mess?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about that first step. So why are you in this mess, and why you keep doing A, B, and C?
Typically, and that's where my whole pursuit of the master's in psychology came in.
Okay.
Which I've always been passionate about human behavior. I've always liked science for as long elementary, anything I can remember, grade school wise. I love science and just studying human behavior. Like, I can remember being a little girl dissecting frogs and playing with bugs. I always liked the anatomy of things, meaning the beginning. How did it start? And so when you begin to look at yourself, you got to go back first. And so that's what I did. I started to go back to pinpoint, like, why do I think this about this?
Yeah.
Or why do this make me feel this way? And so I found some things in my childhood that I hadn't dealt with, that have been dealing with me.
And it will if you don't deal with it, right? And
I was running from that. And so it took for me to decide. I think I ended up getting sick because I battled with a lot of like female type health issues. Just things I would have never imagined myself going through, but God brought me through. Such as like pulmonary embolisms and strokes, and I'm talking about as a young.
Oh, wow.
I'm only 40. And these are things I endured in my 30s, and 20s and 30s, because my first blood clot, I actually was pregnant. And that was just like, when I tell you the enemy has always tried to find a way to just take me out. He's always wanted me off the earth.
I mean, you have a purpose.
Oh, I definitely have a purpose.
Yes. Perfect.
And I know it, and I'm running after it now. Full force ahead. And the harder I run, the more he comes. But I'm like Forrest. I'm running regardless.
I know.
I don't care how hard you come. Because one thing about me, I'm a praying woman. I've always been a praying woman.
Yes.
And I thank the
Lord
that is the greatest blessing that my parents, I have beautiful parents, by the way. But when I tell you that's the best gift out of all the blessings they've given me, that is the best one. It is a blessing to have a mother and a father that believes in the Lord. And instilled that in us.
That's good.
From birth. Like, my godfather was a pastor. Like, I have uncles that are pastors. Like,
bring up
I come from a family who believes. Always have. So that's a blessing alone.
That foundation was already laid.
It was already laid. It was there. And I truly thank God. Like, I love my family. Period. No matter what happens, I love them.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
So you've gotten to a point where you decided to look at yourself and get out of your mess.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of steps are you having to take for that? You know what I'm saying?
So that's what I was about to say.
Long time.
Sometimes it requires that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it ain't. Sometimes I do need it because I can be an introvert.
Okay.
At times, because that's how I refuel. Get more energy. I re-energize when I'm alone. Because I could talk to God. That's what I do majority of the time when I'm alone. Like I'm somewhere talking to God.
Okay.
That's all day long. I don't care where. I could be in my car, even when I would be at work. I don't care if I'm sitting at a desk job. Like in my head, if I'm quiet, that's because I'm talking to God.
Makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
But I'm one of those people. I don't talk a lot. I don't like people in my business. I don't have to be seen to be known.
Okay.
That's just not who I am.
Okay.
Even though I'm very known, I'm not one of those people that just gotta be out there. Did I go through a phase of that during my younger years? Of course. Most do. That's just what we do sometimes, some of us, because not everything is inclusive. However, that's just never really been me. But God made me a star, so stars shine brightly.
Stars shine brightly.
And so I ended up just deciding, you know what, I'm going to actually go to for real, like, psychiatrist. I want me a therapist. I want the counselor. I want the whole shebang.
Gotcha.
And I knew it was coming when I enrolled to pursue my degree.
Okay.
Because I do want to eventually go on and do my doctorate and maybe do clinical, like in my latter years. I could see myself, because me and standing on my feet and all this hair, I won't be doing that in my 50s.
So, to be clear, receiving external help is a good thing,
Definitely.
And I know in our community it's almost like stigmatized, because we come up with the don't tell what's going in our house, it ain't nobody's business, right? Or, like those things. So
that's where the stigma comes from.
So we generally don't seek external help, even when we really, really need it. And it doesn't have to be something as unfortunate as sexual abuse or something that drives you to the point. It could be a small thing. It could be depression or anything. But if you need help, you should go get it.
Exactly.
You should go get it.
So I ended up getting a second blood clot. I think that was in like 2008. Oh, can I tell you, the enemy has come.
Yeah.
Like, my stories be unbelievable to people because it's like, you went through that, and that, and you still here. Yes, I'm here. But anyway, so going through the second blood clot, which they said covered a portion of my left lung, like completely, to where I was down for a very long time.
Okay.
And I was having to give myself the Lovenox injections in my stomach. And I don't know if it was because I was so tiny and having to stick myself a lot. My stomach began to bruise and all of that.
Okay.
But in doing that, all that took a toll on me.
Yeah. Along
with, I had been carrying all this stuff for all these years. And now I'm down. I can't work. And I like to work because I like having my own money. I am super independent. I started making money when I was 12 years old. Like,
okay.
Mama, can I have a candy store? Like, I need money of my own. And then the Lord blessed me to, I started doing hair. So my mom, and that's why I say I have beautiful parents. I've always had the type of parents who believed in helping us and loving us and all that.
Okay.
She went out. I had all the curling irons, the plug-in ones. I had all the sizes, and I put them babies in my backpack, and I was going from door to door doing hair.
Okay.
And by 16, I had a full clientele. So 17, I'm in a salon. I got a full clientele because I've been doing this since I was 12 now, and everybody in the neighborhood knows me. So anyway, here I find myself, I'm down again. And I keep falling down. And why does the enemy keep attacking me? I don't get it. Can I have a break? Because I never seem to get a break. And that's when it took a toll to where I just broke. I gotta go see somebody because I'm carrying all this stuff and feeling like I don't really have anyone who understands.
Okay.
So let me go try to get myself some help. And so I did, and that's when I was diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder.
Okay, explain bipolar 1.
Well, so it's like the highs and lows.
Okay.
Some may feel like it's kind of like having split personalities almost at times, because you can be very happy one moment and somebody literally could say something and bam, you like a firecracker.
Okay, let me stop you for 1 second. Now, do you think, because this is always a question that I have, because some things that my son's been going through, because he has mental health challenges, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't surface until he was put in he was robbed at gunpoint.
That's traumatic.
Does that make sense?
So because there's a chemical, it's a shift.
It's a trigger, okay.
In the brain has occurred, and so now there is a chemical imbalance because of that trauma.
Okay.
Because his brain instantly recalls the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That's, of course, now it's abnormal.
Correct.
So that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. That's why the abnormal behavior is.
So is that what happened to you, or no? Were you bipolar before, or did it happen
again,
after?
That was my first time even ever like seeking help to even know.
Okay.
To even consider, like, because I was the typical African American person. I didn't believe in that.
Gotcha.
Like, I went through a period, but again, I was always interested in human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm a learner, and I enjoy learning. So the more I learned, the more it was like, that sounds like me, that sounds like me.
Gotcha.
And now it's like, I want to know more. And of course, once I got in school, it was many days I'm sitting in class like, Professor, that's me you talking about. That is me. So it was that coming into the revelation and the knowledge of what it really entails.
Then you can begin to see yourself.
Exactly. And I think that's also where the stigma comes from, because you hear, that person's crazy.
Yeah.
If they have some type of diagnosis, now everybody want to label you as crazy.
Correct. Right.
Or you incapable of doing things. And the enemy, let's go back to what this really is about.
Make you believe it.
The enemy will get in your mind and begin to convince you that you are what they said you are. And the Lord spoke that to me this morning, like, no, be who you know you are.
Correct.
And stop placing limitations on yourself based on who they saying you are or what they saying you could do. No. At the end of that, you truly are a believer, that is. Now, if you're not a believer, I'm going to be praying for you. I'm going to be doing it. But if you call yourself a believer, then you got to believe God for your healing. You got to believe God for your deliverance.
Yes.
Now, nowhere, and I hate I didn't bring a Bible because I'm like an old lady. I got my Bible in my car. But anyway, you have to carry that with you. That's why he said, hide his word in your heart. Like, you have to.
Because it will surface.
Yes. So if you say you're a believer, I know what they said. And I'm not saying ignore it, because it's important to pay attention, because I didn't initially.
Okay.
That was part of my problem. I ignored it. No, I don't have that. You can't, y'all not putting them labels on me. And I denied it.
Okay.
I denied it even when I was becoming into the understanding and seeing myself. I was still trying to deny it, because then I tried to be the super Christian. God don't want me to say that. God don't want me to claim that. That's the devil. Devil, you a lie. Yeah, I did all it. And at the end of the day, the Lord was sitting up there like, when is she gonna quit? When are you just gonna accept that? No, you don't have to let it have you. It's not about it having you. It's about you recognizing that you do have it, but you can overcome it. Like, daughter, is something in this for you.
Yeah.
More importantly, there is glory in this for me. If you could do this, if you can get through this, and all the stuff that you be going through, do you know how I will be glorified? This is how the Lord be talking to me. And the more I start thinking about that, that's where I get back up and push. Because I fall down, and I get weak, and I cry, and I be feeling broken, and I ain't going to be able to do this. I go through all of this. Quite often do I go through this.
Okay.
Just because that's part of my disorder. That's one of the symptoms of the disorder.
Okay.
So that happens. That's the like, because I was also diagnosed with depression and anxiety. So you know the depression piece. Of course, there's days can't even get out of bed, be wanting to get out of bed.
Okay.
And literally can't sometimes. And so I have to fight. Only thing I can fight with is my spirit and my mind. And what if I give that up? Like, even I get people see me and they get caught up in how I look and how I dress and what I'm wearing and all of that, not under.
She is cute today, y'all.
I like to be cute. I mean, again, that's the part of the virtue of ladies should look like a lady. And I'm gonna be a lady at all times. My God, my Father, my daddy is a king.
He is.
Now, why would I walk around here looking like anything less than a king's daughter?
Okay.
I'm not doing it for
like
nobody.
Like,
I'm just not gonna do that because I'm a representation of him. And my Father does things in excellency.
He does.
Now, I'm not saying I'm excellent because I'm not at all. However, it's some things I can perfect, so I do that.
Okay.
And fashion happens to be one of them.
Okay.
And I didn't make me, y'all. I didn't give me these traits. Jesus did it. So, I just was like, Lord, I'm tired, and I really want to get better. It was about me wanting to be better. It wasn't about anybody else. It wasn't about the situation. It was just wanting to be better and knowing deep down inside God had something in me.
So I hear you saying the first thing you have to do is you have to want.
You have to want it.
To be out of your mess.
Yes, you have to desire it.
Yes.
And you have to get to the place that you accept, yes, some wrong things happen. Some of those wrong things shouldn't happen at all.
Correct.
We all have that box.
Yeah.
Some of those wrong things happen because you walk yourself right into it.
Being hard-headed.
Yes. And that's where a lot of us get stuck in. We get stuck in what we chose to do.
Because, there are, and to that point, because if you put yourself in a situation, I'm saying put yourself in a situation, you made a bad choice, made a bad decision, so now you are outside of the will of God, whatever, right? Then a lot of people get to that point, you said, because they don't feel like there's a turning point. You know what I mean? They think they've done too much. Again, you don't think you're good enough to go back to God and say, forgive me. You know what I mean? Or I repent. They just think they've done too much. So what do you say to somebody who's had that experience? Or having the experience right now, because many people do.
Yes. Yes, I do too much all the time. We all do.
We all do. You better say it.
Actually, Passion Dunn, who did my beautiful makeup, she said that today when she was doing my makeup. She was like, yeah, because you're so extra. So, yes, I definitely did way too much. And I accept it, though. I accept what I did. I'm accountable. Right. I got to the space of being accountable and wanting to hold. You have to want to hold yourself accountable too, because it's not easy to do that. Because again, that goes back to looking at yourself. And what I mean by that is, I'll use myself for example. I know that my temper's not good. It's not attractive when I'm upset.
Yeah.
Nothing about it is cute.
Right.
It's just not a good thing. Honestly, my temper can go to a level that could land me dead or in jail. Okay. And I noticed that. And I've even had situations where I'm just like, ooh, thank you, Jesus, that you got me out of that one. Okay. And so it's like, I don't like this. Because this is dangerous.
Yeah. Girl, especially in these days.
Exactly.
Because you don't have to do much.
Exactly.
In these days.
And that's the thing with the disorder, though, that forced me. Because, again, remember, I denied it. And I didn't want to claim it, and so I wasn't. But with my temper, and because, like I said, those imbalances or me having PTSD, say maybe you bumped me or said something, it's you saying it, but in my head, I flash back to something traumatic. To where I may be literally ready to kill you, and you have no idea of this. But because I'm so aware and know, girl, you're going to go to jail. Or you don't know how this individual is going to respond.
Correct.
They could kill you.
Right.
Now, do you want to die or do you want to go to jail? No. I like to be a law-abiding citizen. I do want to live. I have children to live for. So, this is a problem, Kimberly Dabney. This is a huge problem, and it's time for you to fix it. But I had to want it.
You have to want it.
So many people talk to me through the years about my mouth, temper, all this. I saw it, but I was holding on to the pain and the anger of things that happened to me. So I just had this tough. That's just how I knew how to operate in the world. I got to protect myself at all times. I can't trust nothing, nobody. It's just me and God. That's how I was living. Not understanding, God wasn't really liking it. God wasn't okay with it.
Okay.
While I've always been a kind, respectful person and generous and like to help people, it was still like if you say the wrong things to me, though, I don't care who you are, minus my parents or, like aunts, uncles, people that I respected, I'll say that. I would never do that. That's a pet peeve of mine. But I don't bite my tongue. And that's not always good, because what if you get into it with the wrong kind of person?
Or even that, I had this conversation with my son last night. You can't always say what comes to your mind.
Exactly. It's not even always necessary.
It's not always necessary.
Exactly.
Correct. And then, when you talk about you being angry sometimes, and I got a temper too, Jesus. Then you can't necessarily edify him
at all.
If you're going to be behaving that way, especially if you're doing it on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just put in a situation and it just come out like that. You know what I'm saying?
Trying, Lord, I am.
Right.
They don't want me to be nice today, God. I'm trying, Lord.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. That's something else I believe. You have to be honest with yourself. Stop putting on for people. Stop acting like you're okay. If you're not okay, you're just not okay. Because that's where the mess gets bigger and bigger, and you're more angry and more angry, and you wallow in anger. You ain't just wallowing in
and that's definitely not healthy.
Now you're wallowing in this angry spirit, and your face all frowned up, and you don't want to speak to nobody. Like, what you so angry for? This individual hasn't done a thing to you. And I encounter these types of people a lot now, to where I begin to just pray, because why you can't speak? This person hasn't done a thing to you, but you think you so into your world and your thoughts and your feelings that you missing the world around you. And now for myself, here I am at 40. Why am I still dealing with something from way back then? Because you never dealt with it. You never looked at yourself. You just ran from everything, thinking you was living, and life was living you. And I was dying, literally. Inside, I was just dying. I was ready to quit, give up. I'm all out, Jesus. This is Lord.
But he can call you back now. And he can, because, when you get to that point, and sometimes maybe it doesn't even have to get to that level of quitting, but you have to tell yourself, and even whether it's in your prayer time or whatnot, that you cannot rely on your strength.
At all.
You have to rely on the strength that you get from him. And the strength comes from his word. Like I said, it comes from your prayer. It comes from being in fellowship with other people with a like mind. You have to gather different kinds of strength.
Now, you just said a mouthful. You said being with people that are like-minded.
Like-minded.
That's key. That's why he said iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
That is key. Relationships. That's what I like to talk about.
Yes.
And there are different types of relationships. But relationships are extremely important to our health. Mentally, emotionally, it's important.
And spiritually.
Spiritually first and foremost.
Yes.
And you got to make sure you're connected to the right people. Because you can't just be connecting with any and everybody.
Correct.
And I did that too. and because that's gonna steer you down the wrong road
and cause some unnecessary
grief,
if I could. Headache, all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
unnecessary pain. And that's part of what drove how Virtuous Girl Society evolved. I'm glad, because I want to circle back to what we really and we're going to come back. But that's how this evolved. Me recognizing, like, girl, you really better get it together. Because the Lord has brought you through some things.
Yeah.
And yes, it's time for Him to get glorified. This is too amazing and awesome.
Yeah, because you got to tell somebody.
Because it took for me to get in because I've always went to church and had great leadership all my life. I've been under the covering of great leadership, and that's a blessing. And so my church in Houston, we have what's called Connect groups.
Okay.
And the pastor that's over my Connect group, I just bonded with her. I just did. But never was looking for anything from her, nothing. But the more I started to go to these Connect groups, and I'm hearing the other women's stories, and I'm like, oh, I'm not alone. Girl, you thought that too. Girl, you felt like that when he did that too. Girl, yeah. And the more I'm building and getting closer with this group of women, it's like, this what I've been missing. Because I used to, and that's why I love to come home.
Okay.
Because this is where my friends are. Now I have my group of Connect group friends, of course, in Houston. But before that, I didn't really have.
Okay.
So yeah, I was kind of angry still. Because now I'm down here and all my family and friends back in St. Louis.
Okay.
So that's why relationships are key. Because you can call somebody and talk to them, and you don't got to just sit with your thoughts. Because you know who's sitting on the other side.
Somebody waiting to do one with
and he's talking your ear, your head, your nose off.
Yep.
Trying to get you to give in to the mess he's talking about. See, but then if you get on the phone with your mama or your sister or a cousin or a very good friend who you can trust, let me say that. Make sure it's a friend you can trust. Because every ear ain't an ear that you should be talking to.
Right.
Be careful. Be very, very careful.
Yeah, it can get heavy if you don't have somebody to talk to.
Ooh.
It get real heavy.
And sometimes, though, God gonna have you in that space where it's not gonna be anybody to talk to.
Because He needs you to talk to Him.
Yes. He don't want to, and sometimes that's because He only wants the glory.
That's right.
He don't want nobody else, and no one else is deserving. Let me say that. Nobody else is deserving of God's glory, first of all. So, and he should have that to Himself. So, He's not going to let you glorify anything outside of Him. And He's not going to let nobody... He's going to send people to help you along the way, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's going to be moments where He's going to want you to just sit with Him.
Yeah.
He said, let Him sit alone in silence.
Yeah.
With the Lord. He wants you with Him. Just you and Him. And He's going to start telling you about yourself. And if you really want to be better and you truly desire to be better, you're going to begin to listen to the Lord. And then you're going to start looking at yourself. It's mornings that I get up and I literally just look in the mirror at myself. And sometimes I will say, no, I don't like this attitude. Or no, why do you get so emotional just because so-and-so said such and such? Whatever I done did the day before or the morning before, night before, I think about it to see where could I have moved differently or said something differently. But you have to want that.
Yeah.
So it still go back to you. And because I wanted it so bad and things had gotten so bad, because I've been through all this stuff in my life, I went through trauma on countless occasions, and I'm just going to be honest, y'all going to have to get the book to hear the full story. If you know, that's something else about me. I'm very intentional.
Good.
And I'm very strategic about things. Some things I let happen naturally. I do. But there are some things I'm extremely strategic about.
Okay.
So I was just like, I'm going to come all the way out of this. And I remember when I enrolled in grad school and just meeting some of my peers, and I love Non, if you ever get to see this, hey, he was Asian, super duper smart. And so, but see, that's something else. God will humble you. And I just had that conversation with my son about the importance of just walking in humility at all times. Don't think you're better than people. Don't be afraid to talk to people either.
Right.
Get to know people.
Learn something.
Yeah. So anyway, I meet him, and he's really smart. And so my professor made him my study partner. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. This is cool. And he was super smart. And I'm a nerd too, so we just used to have a great time doing study time. So anyway, he started telling me what I needed to do to prepare for my doctorate for the entrance or whatever. And he was like, yeah, it's really, really tough. And he's telling me all this stuff. Okay. And he was like, well, I know at U of H, I believe you have to like go through a year of counseling before, while you're in the program or something. Okay. Because of course they don't want you to really, Right. So they gotta make sure, and that makes perfect sense.
It makes sense. And that's good to know. Shoot, okay.
So, anyway, I was like, okay, I know at some point I'm going to have to do this. Now, I don't say this to Nine because, again, I'm not the person that just talks and tells my business. Like, I like to keep my private life private for the most part. So, if I'm sharing something, it's something I will share with anybody. Okay. The serious things and the most intimate things, sometimes God will have me share certain things. Don't get me wrong. And you'll know, just like me talking about having the blood clots or things of that nature. But it's some things I won't ever say anything. Correct. So when Nan said that, of course he didn't know that I have been running. I went to counseling a couple times, but when it got to a certain point, the pressing point, I ran. Because I got to relive this, and I don't want to deal with it. Yeah. And that's where we go wrong, and that's the piece where people be like, I ain't doing it. Because they'll get there. People want it. So do not mistake somebody, continuing to display the same behavior as, oh, see, they just keep doing it. They don't want to change. That's not necessarily true.
Girl, you're talking to me right now. Go ahead. I'm listening.
That's not necessarily true all the time. Sometimes they do want it, and then they get to this certain point because they be moving in the right direction. And everybody be happy, family be, girl, you see they do it. And then they get to that point. And then they back going, and then everybody, here come all the negativity. And so the more the negativity, the more they getting pushed down. Like, who's there to help the person? Even though, yes, they fail. But help them to get back up. Don't stop believing in them. Because honestly, they're at a point they don't know how to move past that point. That's why they keep getting stuck right there. Okay. But everybody's sitting around talking, but nobody's wondering why they keep getting stuck at the same point. When are we going to begin to look at what the real issue is? What's keeping this person stuck here? And a lot of times, it go right back to something happened previously. It's something in the past that they are refusing to deal with. Now, don't get me wrong, because there is a group they don't want it. And I forget the exact scripture, but the Lord talks about it in the Bible where certain ones, he don't even pray for them no more. Like, okay. So, you do have some out there like that, like they just gonna live reckless, and God knows it, and yeah, their time's gonna come, and that's just what it is. But then there are some, they really do want it, they just don't know how to get to the other side. Okay. And if somebody just love on them a little bit, and talk to them, and help them, especially when it comes to mental health. First of all, the people, the loved ones, the friends, the family, you got to get educated so that you can help the person. But you can't help if you don't even understand it. And so that's why everybody's frustrated. Everybody feeling how they feeling. So for me, I said I'm going to cut that piece out. I'm going to quit even focusing on the fact. It would be nice to have everybody there. But do I just soak in that, well, I can't do this by myself, so I'm not. Or do I decide, you're not by yourself. Right. The Lord is with you. Just go. So I did. I just got up and decided, no, I'm going to go get myself some real help. And that's what I did. And that is the best decision I ever made in my life. Like, I meant that when I said that. I literally could lose everything. But I realized I'm still going to have Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord loved me enough that he carried me through all of this stuff. He carried me through death, near death, yet again. He let me live again. So what I'm going to do now? I'm finna pick up this mantle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finna pick up my cross. And we gone.
Okay.
Where we going, Jesus?
Okay.
What you want to do? Now, Lord, you know how I am. I ain't together. But I want to get together. So whatever it takes. Even if I fall, no matter what. This time, it's certain roads I'm just not even going to cross them.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Because I already know where they lead.
Okay.
Now, I can't say I'm just going to be completely perfect. Because there's no such thing.
Not at all.
However, I'm going to wake up every day and I'm going to strive to be better than I was the day before at whatever it was I failed at the day before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get better at it.
You know, I used to say in my prayer time, I used to always say that, and I just changed it yesterday in my conversation with God. I'm always talking God when I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reasons, I'm in a car, because I'm generally by myself in the car. That's just my other time or whatever. And I normally say, you know, help me to be more like you and less like me, right? So yesterday, just in my conversation with him, and I'm trying to better myself on some things, if you will, Kimberly, and it's work. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're used to doing things a certain way, when you're used to thinking about, you know, how, you know, your mind works a certain way, and when you start to change it, it's a little challenging sometimes, but you have to it's like you're doing your whole self, right?
Right.
So what I am saying now is, help me to be more of what you created me to be.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And less of
me. More
of
you,
me.
less of me, Lord.
Yes. Because he created me for a purpose.
Exactly.
And that's what I want to be.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So whoever my purpose is for, myself, my children, whomever.
Yes.
That's what I want to be.
Exactly. So that's just my favorite, my heart, the scripture I just hold near and dear. And I thank Miss Pam, one of my high school friends' mothers, told me this scripture back in, I think we was in maybe 10th, 11th grade, somewhere in there. For I know the plans I have for you. He said, for I, not you, not your mama, daddy, cousin.
Right.
He said, for I know.
Yeah.
The plans I have for you. This ain't about you. This ain't about nobody but me.
Correct.
He said. And so the more I began to meditate on that and think on that, it's like, well, if he know the plans he have for me, he already know how this gonna end. And at the end of the scripture, because I know that's the scripture that's said all the time, so I don't have to say the whole thing. But at the end, he said to give you an expected end. And yes, you're going to fall and be hurt, but he already said it in there too, that he don't have plans to harm you. He has plans to prosper. He didn't say that the prosperity was going to come easy.
He did not. But that's what some people think, and that's where they get it wrong.
Well, you got it confused.
Yeah, they do.
Because nothing good, great, because I don't want good. I need greatness.
Okay.
I don't like average. I don't like mediocrity.
Okay.
That's not who I am.
Okay.
No disrespect, no shade, none of that. I like excellence. That's what I like. I like nice things. But here's something, and I won't jump subjects too much. There's something else people don't realize about me. I don't have to always spend a lot of money to look nice either. Like, I love the Goodwill. Like,
great, because I have good stuff. Yes.
I'm addicted.
Yes, go ahead.
That cute yellow skirt I had on the other day, y'all, that was a good deal. Fine, $6. $6. Them cute glitter chucks. Yeah, that was a resale store. $15. Yeah. Now, there are some things I do like, fine things sometimes. It's okay to splurge, because splurging will get you in trouble, let me tell you. Yeah.
Quick.
Very. And splurging could lead you to a bad place. That's one, remember how I said you make some decisions that you shouldn't have made?
Correct.
That's one of them. Okay, but anyway. Going back. So, it's like, okay, Lord, this about you. I understand that you said you don't have plans to harm me. So even though I'm going through all this trauma and financial woes and mental woes and heart woes and all these, just feeling broken, I feel like I'm nothing. I feel worthless, Father. But you said you don't have plans to harm me. But your plan is to prosper me, to give me a hope and a future and an expected end. And so if I even ponder on the expected end, because you said there is a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end thereof is death, which made me think about the fact it's about choices. Life is all about choices. And so the more I began to ponder and think on the choices that I made, it forced me to look at myself. It forced me to say, yeah, that shouldn't have happened, but you allowed it. You stay so angry about it that you allowed it to control you. And now it's out of control.
Yeah.
Now you don't even want to be here. And you got 2 beautiful sons to live for. Beautiful children. You have a beautiful family. You have all these blessings around you. Like God been with you completely.
Through the whole thing. But you've been so stuck on what happened and how it happened and wallowing in the effects. The effects is what messed me up. Okay.
The losing things or the rejection. Focusing on all of that.
I hate rejection.
That rejection will destroy you if you let it.
If you let it, yeah.
So, I got sick of all this. And then going to get the help, and the more I'm beginning to look at myself, even when I first entered, oh my goodness, you talking about an angry black woman? Everybody in the facility knew me. Because I was angry. I don't even really want to be here. I thought I wanted to be here, but now that I'm here and I see what this why I always leaves, and I'm ready to go. But I really wanted it this time. So you ain't going nowhere.
So how did you get to the point where you decided to make your story for the book?
I've been knowing it was my story. I've been writing books for 10 years now.
Okay. Well, I'm an author and I love authors.
No, but that's the thing. It was always a stop though. Because I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to deal with this. How you going to write a book and you ain't dealt with it? So I get to a certain point with the book and then I stop.
Okay.
Because even in writing the book, you got to relive it still.
Yes.
So it's still dealing with you again.
Yes.
And remember, I'm running because I don't want to deal with it.
You're going to be the prodigal daughter. Go ahead.
When I tell you, when I stepped foot in Believers Temple Word Fellowship, I was like the prodigal child has returned home.
Yeah.
Even though I love my Houston church family, I do. But I love my church family here in St. Louis. Beautiful, just blessed me. Like, it's a blessing, period.
Okay.
And I thank God for them. Like, all of them. Everyone. It's a blessing. Because just a phenomenal ministry. Like, changing my life for the better. And he said that. I remember Bishop, that was used to be one of his sayings. Yes. Like, your life will never be the same.
Yeah.
Never. Ever. Even with even having my godfather, just the rearing, my grandmother, my uncles, having that upbringing, like I said, I've always been under the covering of great leaders from the time I was born. So having that and to continue to have that, it helped me get up, because when you go to church and he's talking about what you did last night. Like, and then you feeling that conviction about it. That's when it breaks you down. And now you crying, you ugly.
There's the ugly cry.
All this.
I want to see what Facebook has to say. Joy Dabney.
Hello, my cousin, beautiful cousin Joy.
She says she's learning when to keep her mouth shut.
It's very important. We have to keep our mouths closed and be kind. That's actually going to be the next pretty virtuous T. Is be kind. Like, let's be kind to each other. We got to start loving on each other.
Helen Hunt says hello.
Hey, Miss Helen. See you guys. I'll be back to Houston soon. Love you all. That's one of my Connect group members.
Holly Dressen says thank you for having this conversation.
Hello, Holly.
She said more people need not to worry about the opinions and judgments of others. It is what is holding them back from living their best life. That's absolutely right. That's right, Holly. Then Trinae says you should talk to someone unbiased and professional.
Exactly.
Hello, Fee. Hey, Delicious watching. Trinae says nobody wants to look at their own ish. It's much easier to be the victim. Yes, we have to stop being the victim.
That's a fact. Like that whole thing of playing the victim, like it gets sickening. It's one of those things, and I'm gonna just be honest. It bothers me.
Yeah.
And it bothers me because it's unfair. It's unfair to the people that they don't even be recognizing you're victimizing someone else by playing the victim. Mm-hmm. When some of this is you. Mm-hmm. I had to say to myself, Kim, some of this is about you. This is not about nobody else.
Right.
And it would be wrong for me to keep walking around angry, knowing that I got some stuff I need to deal with. Mm-hmm. Even if the stuff wasn't things that I did, but that have impacted my life. Mm-hmm. I still got to deal with it.
Right.
If I want to truly heal from it.
Heal and grow.
Yes. And so in doing that, as I was sitting in one of my sessions in the facility, because thank God I didn't have to stay there, so it was very normal. I just went and then I was able to leave, and so it was really not as bad.
So it wasn't really intrusive, okay.
Yeah. And it was, but it wasn't because I wanted it.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to stress the way out is starting by wanting it, period. Mm-hmm. So because I wanted it so bad, even those evenings that I would leave just drained, literally like a zombie, because it would just suck the life out of me because I'm talking all day and I'm having flashbacks of things that happened. There was even a moment when another person came in. He looked so much like the person who assaulted me. I'm literally sitting in this big room full of people, and I'm having a full-fledged meltdown inside. Mm-hmm. I'm hyperventilating. I feel my chest going to where I just hop up and fly out the door because I can't take it. Mm-hmm. And I shoot down the hall to one of the counselors. It was because I was going to a trauma and grief counselor. That was my next session. So I fly down to her, and by the time she opens the door, I'm in tears. I'm hollering, and she's like, "Calm down. What's wrong?" And so I tell her, and she began to say the individual's name. Mm-hmm. And she was like, "I'm saying that so that you'll know that that's not him." Mm-hmm. And so as I'm sitting there and calming down, I realized I didn't really realize how this thing had affected me.
Yeah.
I've been just going on about my life thinking I'm okay, and I'm really not okay. And that was the shift for me.
Okay.
Because it's I'm sick of feeling embarrassed. I'm sick of just people judging me because I've had, people blast me for having this, and I've been through some really, really painful things. But again, you guys have to get the book. But it was I'm tired of feeling all this, and I'm finna do this.
Okay.
And so I went back, and the next day I'm sitting there. I'm still a little agitated, and I began to write because I'm a writer. I always have been. Even as a little girl, I loved to play school, and I always liked the cute notebooks and pencils, and because I want to write. So I'm sitting there and I began to write. And what I wrote, that's how I ended up coming with the whole thing of I'm broken, but I'm not destroyed. Meaning I could be fixed again.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord can fix me. And the revelation came, He's fixing you. You're fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Start walking in it.
Start walking in it.
You're here.
Yeah, because you were already fixed. You just didn't know it. But
yeah.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't talk or nothing because they would have different people talk. They would call on me. I'd just be like, I don't have nothing to say. Just think. Nasty, because I don't want to be here.
Being disobedient. But go ahead.
Yes, disobedient. I told you I was a rebel.
Yes. Go ahead.
But the Lord knows that. You know that sometimes I'm a pretty thug, y'all, but...
You're pretty thug. Okay.
But I'm very dainty, too, and I'm very ladylike and all that. But, that goes back to that how I can shift personalities quickly. And I always tell people, you decide what you get. But the great thing for me now, going through this program, I won't let you get that anger unless you really poke me.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. You gotta really, really poke me. And sometimes people really, really poke me.
Mm-hmm.
But because I recognize now, that ain't that person.
Okay.
Devil, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
You tried it.
Gang recognized gang. Got you.
Now he gets me sometimes. The individuals just really let them have their way in them. And they'd be like, okay, you ain't
they doing too much.
The devil, Jesus, come, or else it's about to go down.
So tell us how to get this amazing book.
So the book is actually still in the making.
Okay.
But I am going to be starting pre-sales, and I will...
Now, wait a minute. This ain't the book that took you 10 years to write,
no,
right?
No. This is a whole nother...
I was getting ready to say, I'm going to need you to hurry up.
Let me say, no. See, because somebody, and this is another testimony.
Okay.
So, because in 2012, I was full-fledged in it. Book was going to be out. Wasn't playing no games about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even went through some coaching with an amazing, phenomenal Miss Cashel Kelly.
Okay.
She's out of Houston. Phenomenal. And I thank God because I'm using that stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
So it blessed me still.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, she had given me a deadline, all that. And the Lord told me it's not time.
Okay.
And I had to go back to her, and I felt horrible because she invested so much into me.
Mm-hmm.
And I made and that's what else we don't want to do. And I got to say that you have to want to invest in yourself.
Oh, I talk about that all the time.
Don't be talking about it costs that much.
Girl.
It's your life.
Yes.
Your life is worth it.
Yes.
So, when I tell you the gems and jewels that woman dropped in me,
mm-hmm.
it was worth every dime and then some.
Yes, that means she paid for it.
I said it cost.
Yes, people don't want to pay
for it. The oil
stuff.
cost.
Yes.
The blessing cost. This swag, that's what my shirt say. This costs. It all costs. The anointing, it costs, and it comes with a very high price. And it's painful. Sometimes that price is pain.
Yes.
And you got to understand, just because it looks like it's bad, that don't mean that it's bad. Just because it feels bad, that does not mean that it's bad, because there's always good in it. You got to be willing to find it. You got to be willing to go after it. You.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go get it.
Got to go get it. Go get it.
Whatever your it is, you have to go get it. And the moment you decide that you're going to go get it, the enemy is going to come up against you, and he's going to come up against you even harder. And you got to go harder in what you're doing. You got to go harder in your prayer life.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go harder in your relationship with God. You got to go harder in serving in ministry.
Yeah.
If you ain't doing it, because that was me too.
Okay.
I sat down for a long time.
Okay.
Once I left St. Louis and left Believers, I was sitting down.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest and tell the truth. I mean, I helped a little bit,
mm-hmm.
but
mm-hmm.
I wasn't doing because I can't.
Okay.
And I let the enemy make me focus on my mess. I let the enemy distract me.
Gotcha.
I allowed
mm-hmm.
the enemy to distract me. I allowed allow my stuff and situations and problems and all that to distract me. And the more I began to look at myself and see, this is why you hear people saying, like, no, you're the problem, because it used to make me mad too.
Mm-hmm. Right, because, well, if somebody keeps telling you the same thing, right,
mm-hmm.
you keep hearing the same information about yourself from different people,
mm-hmm.
you are the problem.
And I was.
Yeah, you have to look at yourself.
Yeah. And again, in situations even now, if I mess up, at least I'm to the space, I go back and I look at, what should I have done differently? And why did I respond that way?
Yeah.
Don't just go say, well, I shouldn't have did it. You have to get understanding of what drove you to do it so that you won't do it again.
Right.
And that's where we go wrong. And that's where we begin to get upset.
Get in your flesh. Yeah.
And then we start getting upset with other people. Even we can have loved ones that, we feel like they ain't getting it together or whatever we feeling. But again, nobody's looking at what is leading this individual to do this and to keep coming to this same space.
Correct.
And so that's why I said, for me, going to get the help and accepting that, yes, you can have mental disorders. You can be diagnosed with things, but you don't have to be that. You don't have to let it overtake you. It is okay to take medication.
I love that.
It is okay. Now, I'm not saying get addicted, because we shouldn't get addicted to anything.
Right.
We do. Let's be honest. Things we do. However, we should not have to feel shamed or embarrassed, because these are no different than cancer, diabetes, arthritis. Like, they all, this, honestly, cancer is horrible. Like, it's horrible.
Horrible.
And I pray, because I know, like, the fear and all that of even that. However, I still know God. And this disorder is no different than that, because this disorder could take people out too. It's taking people out. Let me correct it.
Yeah.
And we still don't want to look at, we have all these people committing suicide.
Yes.
But we still not really have, there's still an elephant in the room. Especially in the African American community.
Right.
Your loved one is not crazy.
They need help.
Oh, it went off. Did it go off?
They need help.
Oh, yeah, it kicked us out.
What?
See, that's the enemy.
Yeah, don't want to talk. Well, I'm still recording you for my MP3. Keep going.
Yeah, so, he don't, like, we can't just get stuck on the label. Because people are dying every single day, and we have children now. And that's why I think it's so important. These conversations are important, for one, because I don't like people who body shame, or individuals who just look down and be negative towards other people and condescending. Like, all these things takes a toll on the human mind. I don't care how tough an individual appears to be. I don't care how much they laugh when you joking at them. Like, it's not okay, because this thing is real. And one big thing I really, really want to address, because, and again, nothing's all inclusive, but I think it's horrible for those who choose to scheme the system and pretend to have disorders so that they can collect the check.
I don't know why I forgot about, I guess because we have so much real stuff going on, I forget about people that's faking it.
And that's a danger. That's becoming, that's horrible for those of us who are truly battling it.
Yeah.
Because it's making people feel like, now they putting all of us in the same box.
And that's another thing. People don't want to be in the box.
Yes, but I'm saying in the sense of, now that we're all in the same box. Say you have a loved one, right? And they really are in trouble.
Yes.
I'll just take maybe you have a aunt or something that really just has a for real mental disorder, and you know it. And then maybe you have a coworker who's faking it. No, I'm sorry, because it got to be somebody close to you. So say the aunt is faking it, right? But your coworker really, really does have the disorder. But you so stuck on, girl, my aunt, that ain't real. Because my auntie said she had the same thing. She be doing the same thing she be doing. Because you see similarities in their behaviors, right? So you begin to just label this one as fake too. But Sue Susie really does have a disorder. And then you come to work and they tell you Susie's gone. You don't even understand now.
Right. You're right.
Now you lost and you like, I just can't believe it. But she told you.
Mm-hmm.
But you weren't listening because your aunt that was over here faking to collect her check made you put blinders on.
Yes. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
And that's happening to so many people. They crying out for help, but nobody's listening. Because either they don't believe it, or they see you and they see, oh, ain't no way she got that. Look how she's still taking care of her kids, and look how she dressed, and look how she talks. She couldn't be. And they just ignore it. And the person is sinking, and then one day you get the call, they're gone. And now everybody's sad, everybody crying, and why didn't they say something? But they did.
Right.
But you didn't
believe it.
Or maybe you did believe it and you didn't know what to do. So that's where you got to get educated.
Yes. They have 800 numbers.
They have Google.
Yeah.
We have Google.
Yes.
We have, the libraries are still open.
They're
still accessible, people.
So look, unfortunately, we have to start wrapping up. This has been phenomenal. But wait a minute, because I see that you have Pretty Virtuous teas that are available for retail.
Yes.
Can they see? Can you see?
This one actually says, because I'm a fashionista, this says Pretty Swag Virtue, so it's Pretty Virtuous Swag.
All right.
I have one that says Pretty Virtuous and Single.
Okay.
For my single ladies, and that could be another show on another day.
Yes. Wait a minute, but that's a good segue into, so you're going to be in the Dear Future Husband?
Yes, I am.
That is a anthology with by Trinace Carter that's coming out September 2019.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so I will be a part of the Dear Future Husband. I am writing a love letter to my future husband, even though my husband is in the future.
Okay.
At this point, I'm getting better.
Okay.
But I'm open, and yeah, I'm not the person that talks about my love life.
That's all right.
So, but I love. I'll say that, and love loves me. How about that?
So, Pretty Insecure, the book release is coming out early winter of...
I'm hoping of 2019.
Okay.
Or either fall, winter 2020.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. So the website for Kimberly to purchase her teas.
So right now, for the teas, all you need to do, you can cash at me at Kimberly Von Shea. You can email me.
Now you know you need to spell Von Shea.
I'm about to.
Okay, I'm
the
ready
email
to
is
say.
the same, so I'm going to do it, I promise.
Because people be like, what'd she say?
So, my cash app is $Kimberly, Kimberly, capital VONSHAY.
Okay.
You can also email me at KimberlyVonShay@gmail.com. And to make it a whole lot easier, you can shoot me a text letting me know the size, the style. If you go on my Instagram or if we're friends on Facebook, there are pics posted, or you can always text me at 832-821-5514. That is a business line, so don't nobody extra try to text me because I won't respond.
She will not respond.
I will not, so don't even try it unless you cash after me.
That is hilarious.
But anyway, you can text me your size or email me, and we will go from there, because I am reconstructing everything. That's the phase of life I'm in right now. I am revamping, rebuilding, so I decided to do everything from scratch. Okay. And yeah.
It has been a pleasure to have Miss Kimberly Dabney here on Change Radio with Rhonda. I hope that you all have enjoyed her story and her testimony as much as I have. It has been a great pleasure for her to be here with me today. Are you leaving today? Headed back to Texas?
Rhonda, I'm headed one day next week.
Okay.
I'm the individual that hops on the highway and just say, okay, I'm gone.
I'm gone.
And when I arrive, I just